Greetings, YouTube. The doctor is in. Dr. Urias Papers here, coming at you with another commentary on Marvel Contest of Champions. And we opened a new 7-star Kushala, which means she is now awakened. And that means and this is why I have these over here, we are going to take her to rank 3. She is, in my opinion, she is graded at least an absolute A champion, if not more. So awesome champ, very happy to get that. We're going to move these back over, and we're going to showcase her today in this video. We're going to go through her kit. We're going to go through how well she works in Realm of Legends, Winter Soldier, and we're going to look at all that stuff. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you have any questions or comments, please leave a question or a comment, and don't forget to hit that notification bell and share this video with your family and friends. All right, so let's get into it. We need to rank her up, and she is way down here. There she is right there, and I have a 1 to 2 rank up gem that I have been saving just for this moment. There it is. It's done, so I don't have to spend all that stuff. We got that out of Epic of Pain, which I'm very happy that I got. I've got a couple of those gems just sitting there waiting. So let's get her all the way up. We are going to go ahead and just get all of this juicy mystic ISO, and we're going to keep going, and she's going all the way to rank 3, and then we're going to test her. We're going to look at her kit, and then we're going to test her out. All right, she is almost there. All right, there she goes. Okay, now we're going to rank her up again. Now this isn't going to wipe out everything, but it's going to wipe out a lot of my tier 4 alpha catalysts. So, and I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that. There she is. She is a full rank 3 now. Let's get some more of that juicy mystic ISO. There it is. I got tons and tons and tons of it. There we go. That's the ISO I'm looking for right there. Not that tier 5 stuff. We want the tier 6 stuff. Go to stash. Yeah, we want this stuff right here. Okay. And she is a 43 out of 45. She's not really high sig. That's the only problem. But I don't like ranking champions up who are not awakened. It is a pet peeve of mine. All right, there we go. She is now 34,450. By doing that, I have improved my ranking in the game to 2,751. I'm very happy with that. That is, I think, the highest I have ever been. All right, let's take a look at her kit. And where does she rank in the overall scheme of all of my rank 3s? So she's actually pretty far down there, but she's also like a sig nothing right now. So she's down right around Domino, and she is in the, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. She is in the row 8. Let's take a look. So you know how she works. She is a level 20. So, Kushala's connection to the Spirit Vengeance grants her immunity to bleed and incinerate effects. That's very important, very good utility. All attacks deal energy damage. That's also very important. Now, her combat power rate is reduced to 20%, but personally damaging effects are paused during her specials. So, she gets power in a couple other ways. First off, light attacks have a 40% chance to place an indefinite ignition buff. The chance increases by 20% if the opponent is Soul Barb. So part of our rotation is going to be putting a special 2 on, and then just going forward after that, and probably just getting a special 1. When the opponent gains a buff, and those ignition buffs are buffs, Kushala passively gains 2% of her max power. So whenever we put one of those on her, she gets more power. Remember, her combat power rate is reduced, but then it basically washes out after that. Kushala does not benefit from the Mystic Dispersion. I don't use Mystic Dispersion. That's another way to gain power. She's got these blessings if you do certain things. So you get Blessing of the Wisdom when anybody does a well-timed block, and it allows her to block unblockable attacks from non-science champions and passively regenerate 25% of the damage taken from these blocked hits. So it lessens the brunt of blocking so much. When either champion is struck by the first heavy attack, you get Blessing of Justice, making the opponent more aggressive and increasing the potency of Kushala's damaging effects by 10%. So you want to make sure you have that on before you put any of the Incinerate she's got or any of the Soul Barbs. And then when either champion intercepts, and this one's hard to do, Blessing of Power, increasing ability power rate by 15% and reducing the opponent's. That one's not so important. Really, the important one out of these three is going to be Blessing of Justice. Blessings are not affected by ability accuracy. Each blessing lasts for 12 seconds plus an additional 15 seconds flat if activated while either champion is performing or recovering from a special one, which is hard to do as well because you got to get the spacing correct on that. When activating a blessing while both both other blessings have been active, pause all blessings for 3 seconds. And that's not easy to do either. Ability accuracy on Kushala's personal effects and the parry mastery is increased by 30% for each unique blessing active. So I have the parry, which means that it lasts longer. That's pretty good. So special attack 1 on the final hit, each buff on the opponent has a 50% chance to be nullified. For each buff nullified, inflict an Incinerate debuff, dealing 13,294 damage, which is awesome. And you inflict 4 additional Incinerates if the opponent is Soul Barbed. That is nasty. Or Degenerating, which comes, I think, off of the Special 3. So, Special 2. Final hit consumes 30% of the ignition buffs on the opponent. To inflict a Soul Barb, you want to have as many of those ignition buffs on as possible, because that Soul Barb will do a ton of damage. So basically, it's Special 2 and then Special 1. You want to put the Soul Barb on, and then you want to go into a Special 1. This duration is increased by 0.75 seconds for each buff consumed, and for each Incinerate on the opponent. You need to have the buffs. Special 3, gain 1 stack of each blessing and place an indefinite judgment on the opponent, increasing the duration of Kushala's future blessings. That's okay, it's nice to have, but it's not necessarily needed. And then finally, for each active blessing, inflict a degen, dealing 6,646. That's really not where her damage comes from. The Special 3 is okay. I would only throw it if I got to a Special 3 and I couldn't go down because she didn't have a fractured power bar. So I would do Special 2 and then Special 1, but I would get as many ignition buffs as I can on. Now, her Awakened ability, the pause for activating the blessing with the fewest stacks lasts an additional 1.79 seconds. So that's if you get all 3 of the blessings. Kushala's damaging debuffs have a 2.88% chance for each active blessing to be replaced with matching passives. That's big. That's a big one, and that goes with the Special 1. So you'll see some of these will turn into passive Incinerates instead of actual Incinerates. And those do a lot of damage. Chances doubled against Cosmics. This is basically the only thing she's got against Cosmics. And then Kushala does not benefit from the Despair Mastery. Instead, she reduces the opponent's regeneration rate by 8% for each debuff or personal damaging passive on them, up to a maximum of 100%. Each rank in the Despair Mastery increases this reduction by 4% to a maximum of 10%. So she can reverse healing, but it's in a different way. Okay, we're going to do special damage. And for that, we're going to do block penetration. And we want to put now she has blessings, which means that we need to use, I believe it's Scarlet Witch. And we're gonna remove this, unbind, yep. And Scarlet Witch The first hit grants an amplify buff, increasing the ability power rate by 4%. Blessing of Amplification, activating a blessing grants an amplify passive, increasing ability power rate. We want that. Special attack damage is increased, and special hit ability accuracy. So we want all of that, and we're going to stick this on this one right here. Bind Relic. I don't think we can rank this relic up. We cannot, so we are good. Let's get into it. What you have been waiting for is how fast is it going to take us to get through this one right here. All right, so we are going to put her in. And she is way down. She's even way down in this. She's in the second row here. All right, so let's get her in. And if we bring in one of the Ghost Riders, damaging effects increase by 10% potency, so let's do that. We bring in one of the Wizards, activating a special 3 grants a non-second. We don't care about that. If we bring in one of these folks, Incinerate effects are 15% more potent. For each damaging effect on the opponent, heavy attacks deal extra damage. Okay, so we want that. This is unique. So we're going to bring him in, and then Blessings of Power reduce you. We're going to do that, and that's a unique. So that's basically it. I'm not going to really bring any more in. That's all we're going to do, and we're just going to go for first how quickly she goes. And I think it's less about trying to keep all of those blessings on than it is about getting the ignitions on. Okay, we got both of them. We got 2 of them on. I'm not going to worry about... Let's get that. Let's get a second one on. And he's going to come after us. Now let's just not worry about getting hit. Okay, we'll keep that on. We got 5 on. I don't want to get too high. We got 9 on. That's good enough. Okay. That did 37,000 points of damage. And we want to keep this going. So she is not high enough sig right now to get too many passives, but he's going to melt. He is going to melt. Okay, so 48 seconds. Awesome. That's great. Anytime I can get any of these rank 3s to do things in less than 50 seconds is awesome. If they do it less than a minute, it's great. But if they do it less than 50 seconds, it is totally awesome. And these are always on full synergy teams. Pick her up against a Cosmic Champion here, and we'll do this against Captain Movie Marvel. I got hit so many times in that. All right, we'll do that. Now we're going to concentrate on just getting ignition buffs on while we've got this blessing on. Okay, now we've got that on. I would like to have 10 on. All right, we got 10. There we go. Got it. Okay. And now we're going to hit her with this. She is just taking tons of damage. And we're going to keep hitting her with the special one now. Doesn't matter. All right, that was 43 seconds. Let's do the, that was really... All right, that is the video I have for everybody today. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and I will catch everybody later.